Good evening, everyone. Tell me in the chat if you can hear me. Is there anybody out there? Welcome, friends. Welcome, patriots. Welcome to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and I can tell from the chat that yes, you guys can hear me. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on our second edition of Saturday Night Live, Red Pill News. Hold on, let me get my water. All right, levels are good. It's not blasting anybody's eardrums. Okay. And if everybody would be so kind as to share this once they get in, so we can get as many people as possible. I'm only showing 17 people watching, but I know that it's got to be a lot more than that. Let me see. I'm gonna refresh my screen if you guys don't mind. Oh no, it's jumping up there. 334. Sweet. Okay, well, we're going to start off with a little bit of music. This is from my boy Severe Anon. Hope you people enjoy this song because I think it's pretty sweet.
We have an army of digital soldiers. Because this was an insurgency, folks. This was run like an insurgency.
Deep state looks like they're ready for war. They're showing their hand now more than ever before. The next move, well, we can never be sure. We got a clue though, because the comps are never secure. When we go on, we go all. That's the movement. So every day I'm red pilling with my music. What you see behind the scenes, it ain't confusing. You need to see the power that they're abusing. We need to break it all down to begin again. Thank God for Donald Trump. Now we can win again. Thinking styles at the Rothschilds, what world you living in? What about the patience of Merovingians? Expand your thinking, this is deeper than you know. The more that you look into it, the deeper that it goes. When they label it conspiracy, it only goes to show we're right over the target and we got them on their toes. We got them on the run and they're about to be exposed. Why do you think the Russian dossier was composed? Cause they know their agenda's what we oppose. Wait until the fights and documents are disclosed. The breaking point is coming like it has around the map. Tired being victims, so now they're on attack. Patriots who love the land and fight to take it back. The globalists are going down, you see that it's a fact. It's time for us to band together to form an alliance. Opposite of the fiction, we need to form an alliance. Our voices are the one thing that wish take the silence. They feed off of fear, but I ain't scared of the silence. The culture of corruption now spreading like a virus. The prophecies get told, the scrolls of papyrus. So the time is now to open minds with my rhyming. The great awakening is now, so this is perfect timing. You need to think outside the box and tackle this assignment. The check's already written, all you gotta do is sign it. You already got the courage, all you gotta do is find it. History repeats itself and see if you rewind it. Future proves past, it makes sense when you apply it. It's willful ignorance when there's truth and you deny it. The mockingbird media, scared cause it's dying. Their chords are dead to be the truth I'm supplying. Thoughts I'm providing in a line like Orion. When the stars all align in a perfect alignment. They indoctrinate because they want us all compliant. The Q was the catalyst and got us all ignited. The time is now for the traitors to be indicted. Put their feet to the fire for the crimes they incited. Justice is coming in, there's no way they can fight it. We're digital soldiers and we all stand united. It's a private party, none of us are invited. One prisoner for each and every rhyme I recited. Put them all in gimbal, let them get reunited. When the time to be alive, am I the only one excited? Shout out to all the makers and the anons. We're gonna bring dark to light, it's time to ring the alarm. Wake up my fellow patriots and bring them along. It's time to pick a side, fit it where you belong. I'm a digital soldier and the army is strong. The time is almost here, we've been waiting so long. The blind leading the dumb when they're saying we're wrong. And future proofs past refer back to this song.
This was irregular warfare at its finest in politics. And that story will continue to be told here. And so the American people decided to take over the idea of information. They took over the idea of information. And they did it through social media.
All right, guys. I don't care if you prefer rap over rock or rock over rap or whatever. That is music with a message, and that's why I'm playing it. This is Severe Anon, and you can find this song on YouTube. If you don't like it, that's all good. We're all part of the same family, all right? And I just wanted to help my buddy out. All right, so now this is a hilarious video that I wanted to show. These are normies on the street who are unable to locate any countries on a map of the world.
Can you name any country on this map?
Honestly, my geography is so horrible. I can't name anything. Like
Try naming
nothing.
something.
Is it South Africa?
Nope.
Yeah, the country of Asia.
Nope. That's a continent, and
Oh,
that's
oops.
Russia.
Oh, damn. I'm silly.
That's okay.
Man, it's been a while since I've been in school.
That's okay. Any country on the map.
Africa.
That's a continent.
Country. Damn it.
How about a country in Africa?
I know South Africa's over here somewhere.
No, it's
it's
Little
south,
lower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's south.
Oops.
Can you name any country on this map?
Yeah. Africa? Oh God.
Can you name any countries in Africa?
God. No, who knows stuff like that?
Can you name any country on this map?
Yes. Africa.
Continent.
Fail.
Greenland or Iceland or something.
That's Alaska. Any country.
I mean,
And on the entire map.
Any
this
country.
is so horrible.
Where's America?
I would say this big one, but I'm probably wrong. Okay.
Can you name any country on this map?
Oh my gosh. Shouldn't I be taught this in school? South America?
That's a continent.
Oh my God.
How about a country in South America?
Yeah. Honduras is here, somewhere here.
Can you name any country in Europe?
Is this one Europe?
No.
This one?
No. Can you name a single country in Africa?
Was this Africa? No idea.
Can you name a country in South America?
Okay, this is South America.
Yes, can you name a country in it?
No, I can't.
Did you go to high school?
Yeah.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, that's a sad part.
Oh my God. That's horrible. All right. Sorry, guys. That's as high as I can turn it when I'm playing videos off of Twitter. All right. Next, we have a story about a judge who believes in QAnon. This is incredible. Helena Judge says his email chastising reporter for coverage critical of QAnon was inappropriate. Dang. All right. Lewis and Clark County's elected justice of the peace acknowledged that he sent in inappropriate email chastising a Washington Post reporter for coverage that was critical of the far-right conspiracy theory QAnon. Whether Q is real or otherwise, there is a movement started by the hypothesis of a Q and somebody behind the scenes standing up for the average American citizen. Amen. Judge Michael Swingley wrote this in an email Wednesday from his official government account to reporter Avi Selk. Patriots are uniting against people just like you. Your world of fake news and liberal agendas that give away our country to foreigners and protect the Clintons and Obamas is coming to an end. Wait for it, you pathetic, snobby ASS. Boom! Oh my God, I can't believe he had the gonads to write that. In a written statement provided to the Independent Record Friday, Swingley said, I fully admit that my decision to utilize my work email was inappropriate and was not the best decision professionally or personally. Frustrated and overwhelmed, I lashed out at a reporter who once again wants to focus on the symptom of a problem and not admit it is time to fix our differences. According to the New York Times, Q is an online character who claims to be a government insider working to expose... Hey, Scott Tice, thank you for the super chat. Working to expose bureaucrats plotting against President Donald Trump's administration and supporters. CBS News reports that many followers of QAnon believe a deep state took over the government decades ago and have been involved in everything from the assassination of JFK to the rise of ISIS. True and true. Lady Warrenon, thank you for the super chat. Love you too, hun. Many Q fans believe that President Kennedy was set to reveal the existence of the secret government when he was assassinated. What do you mean was set to reveal? He gave that speech about it. CBS News reported. They also believe President Reagan was shot on the deep state's orders. True. And that all the presidents since he left office, with the exception of Mr. Trump, have been deep state agents. True and true. Selk, who tweeted an image of Swingley's email, was not able to comment publicly, but provided links to 2 pieces he has written about QAnon for the Washington Post, which is a CIA-owned rag. Here is his analysis. The first article discusses the origins of the QAnon movement and how it's quickly spread online. Selk's analysis examined several individual theories being peddled by supporters, poking fun at the meticulous research and robust body of evidence believers say supports all of QAnon. That's right. We're going to be talking about Q tonight. We're going to be looking at some proofs. We're going to be looking at these new posts that have been dropped today. Big day, guys. In his statement, Swingley says, "Hey, Diana, thank you so much for the super chat." Swingley said he believes Q is nothing more than an internet-based illusion, but was upset with Selk for focusing on the internet movement and not realizing that it is a symptom of real issues. Selk's position seemed to be anyone who speaks up for anything must be a conspiracy-seeking nutball, Swingley said. My point was, and is, that people have had enough. What do you think, guys? Have we had enough? I think so. I think that's why the world is rising up against these institutional nut jobs like this gentleman who works for the Washington Post. People are beginning to stand up and ask for change and are grabbing onto a Q, Antifa, thumbs down, or any other group that they feel gets their message across. Swingley said he has received many positive emails in response to his letter to Selk, along with several threats, plus emails from people claiming to be Q and everything in between. Justice Court is responsible for processing all misdemeanor offenses in the county, including traffic, criminal. Hey, Crypto Crouton, thank you so much. Jared, thank you so much. Mr. Bone Dangles, thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate it. Oh, Renee, thank you so much. Swingley asked the Independent Record to publish his full statement, which reads as follows. Gotta get a drink of water. First, I stumbled upon the article and it made me angry and frustrated. Once again, a reporter wanted to focus on an internet movement that is more than likely a hacker and not realizing that it is a symptom of real issues. But I felt once again that nobody in Washington or at any level of government or the press is listening to the average, hardworking American or is willing to deal with the issues that are affecting our country. In a moment of frustration, I sent him the response. I am human, and I occasionally do things that aren't perfect. Judge, you didn't do anything wrong. Second, by fake news, I mean the constant barrage of articles reporting what the latest bridezilla did to her bridesmaid, and not the real issues that I see every single day in our own town. Our press is no longer free, controlled by big business, special interest, and 2 parties that fight daily in print. Scott, thank you so much. Where we go one, we go all, my friend. Always to sway the rest of us for their own agendas. Our country is in the middle of a very difficult time. A division that is serious and not going to end anytime soon. We have more domestic issues than we care to admit or to deal with. Sunday 2, thank you so much. Our drug problem, meth, heroin, and opioids is killing our citizens, our children, and is at the root of a significant portion of our jobless, homeless, and mentally ill rates and crime. Jared, thank you so much. Our southern border is the source of nearly all the meth and heroin coming into our country, all the way to Helena, Montana. And that, once again, is one of the reasons why the Democrats don't want to close that border. It's a cash cow. You better believe that they are making money off of those drugs that are coming over the freaking border. I am not for a wall. Well, that's the first thing he said that I disagreed with. But I am in favor of fixing the border so that criminals and drug dealers are stopped, while others are able to come here to enjoy a new life. We continually send our young to wars over oil and ground we don't want. We feed other countries while our own children starve. I see daily the justice and correction systems that are broken. Our child protective service system is broken. Our jails and our prisons in Montana also are full of those who are drug and alcohol addicted. Oh, 101, thank you very much. Our jails and prisons in Montana are full of those who are drug and alcohol addicted that need treatment that isn't available. Mental illness is the norm in the prison and the jail system. Prepping Snap Sapper, thank you so much. I enjoy hearing you in my chat, buddy. Thank you. Simply storing these people in a cage for a while and letting them out doesn't work. I have had it with the status quo of government and politicians waging a war amongst themselves while the average person suffers. Hospitals charge $7 for a Tylenol, and we wonder why nobody can afford health insurance. Steve0861, thank you, sir. I appreciate that super chat. We send billions of dollars to other countries in aid when the elderly woman down the street can't pay her heat bill or buy medication. So true. Man, this is great. I am neither a Democrat nor a Republican. I do not believe that Q is anything more than an internet-based illusion. That's not true, Judge. But my point is, my point with the reporter is that whether Q is real or not, it could be A, B, or C. The name and movement is a sign and symptom of a bigger issue. Paramedic 402, thank you for the super chat. His position seemed to be anyone who speaks up for anything must be a conspiracy-seeking nutball. My point was and is that people have had enough. People are beginning to stand up and ask for change and are grabbing onto a Q, Antifa, or any other group that they feel gets their message across. As for patriots standing up, I stand up for the average citizen every single day, at my own physical and emotional expense. I do everything possible to work within the system and within the broken system, and I see no change on the horizon at the local, state, or national level. Just look at the administration of President Donald Trump. There is change coming, you guys. We are on the brink of something gorgeous, a big, beautiful future that we are part of. We are part of this movement to change our nation. It's amazing. I fully admit that my decision to utilize my work email was inappropriate and was not the best decision, personally or professionally. Frustrated and overwhelmed, I lashed out at a reporter who, once again, wants to focus on the symptom of the problem and not admit it's time to fix our differences. Brosif, thank you so much for the super chat. Janet Blank, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see. I do my best to represent the judiciary in Lewis and Clark County properly. If the people want perfection, I can't deliver that, and you have elected the wrong person. I can only do the best I can and make the best fair decisions with the thousands of cases I have yearly. I am passionate about my position and seek only to help those who are victims and even the convicted who need to be restored. I live in a town that is not the one I grew up in. A county that is so divided it doesn't matter who is in the White House or Congress. Nothing changes, and as soon as I or anyone stand up, we are branded a racist, a liberal, a wacko conservative. The name calling changes nothing. We have lost touch with who we are. Billy Patterson, hey! Billy, I got a shout out for Billy. I'm about to talk about something that she sent me here in a little bit. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, I am guilty of writing the email. It was snarky, poorly written, and I should have read it 5 times before hitting send. I won't deny it, and I have offered an explanation of my thoughts at the time. My grandfather used to say, never pass up an opportunity to keep your mouth shut. Sage advice that in this instance, I probably should have followed. That was a great article. I've been waiting a long time to see people who are red-pilled get into office. And this gentleman is certainly on his way. He's just a little bit missing the mark, but thank you so much. You guys, I do apologize if I am unable to see everyone's chats because it's moving pretty fast. But I'm going to give a quick shout out. Hey, how's everybody doing? Thank you so much. Can somebody give me a count of people who are watching? I'd appreciate that. All right, so now that we've gotten into the news about Q, let's get into the posts by Q. We've had some excellent, juicy tidbits dropping our way today. Well, it all started at 11:57 a.m. with post 2643. This post is entitled, Representative Adam Schiff is a leaker of false intel and the Mueller insurance policy has expired. That means it is time. All right, so we have a tweet embedded by Q from Britt Hume. Let's open that up first and take a look. Britt says, on the record denials, this sweeping and emphatic apparently caused email, I think he forgot to say email, apparently caused some journalists not to write their story. The McClatchy guys went with it anyway, despite their sources' refusal to be specific about what exactly was being investigated. Thank you, everyone, for the count. I do appreciate it. Let's take a look and see what this email says. All right, so this is Cleta Mitchell McClatchy emailing with journalist or journalists. Communications from and to Peter Stone on Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. Read from the bottom. This is the first knowledge that I had been included in the Adam Schiff report. Okay, so that's the 14th. No, that's the 6th. Okay, so it starts here. Hi, Cleta. I'm working on a short piece today that deals with the congressional probes into Russian meddling in the 2016 election and saw your name on the House Intel document that was released yesterday and have heard other details from sources about your concerns. Can you talk briefly on background today, pre or post lunch? Thanks, Peter. Cleta replies, I'm traveling in Florida and can't really talk today. If you want to send me what you're talking about that references me, I'm happy to review and get back to you in the next couple of days. I actually have no idea what you're talking about, so please, whatever you wish me to discuss, thanks. And Peter responds, Cleta, I'm working on a follow-up story to our earlier reporting regarding the Russia probe on Russian banker and lifetime NRA member Alexander Torshin and whether he may have funneled funds improperly through the NRA or an allied conduit to influence the elections and help Trump win. I've seen your name on a short list of people that the minority on House Intel wants to talk with. That would be Adam Schiff, who might shed light on the NRA's relationship with Alexander Torshin. I have also heard from a source that I trust that you have expressed concerns to some investigators or people familiar with the probes about the NRA's links to Russia and whether Russian funds could have flowed improperly through the NRA or allied conduits to influence the elections. Is this basically correct, or can you explain whether you have any concerns about the propriety of Torshin's dealings with the NRA and if he or other Russians might have sent funds via the NRA or conduits that may be illegal? I'd like as much on the record as possible, but if you need to comment some on background, that's okay. We are trying to do a short piece today, so hopefully you can reply in the next few hours. Well, Cleta replies, thanks. No, I have no knowledge of anything like this and zero concerns whatsoever about anyone, Russians or otherwise, who funneled funds to or through the NRA. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. NRA is meticulous about following all the rules. This is all a complete fabrication, and it is absolutely outrageous that the Democrats are leaking documents to you and other reporters. If they want to talk to me, they are wasting everyone's time and money, but I would be happy to talk to them in order to tell them how offensive and horrible I think they are. You are welcome to quote me that this is all totally ridiculous. You guys are outrageous. Wish all of you would get over your fantasies, get a life, and do something productive and useful. This certainly isn't. And Peter says, thanks. FYI, the Democrats didn't leak this document to me and other reporters, but publicly released a report Tuesday, which I thought you might have heard of, or various outstanding questions and areas that they wanted to pursue as part of their probe into Russian meddling in the elections. She says, well, that's at least something that they didn't leak it. But if talking to me is something they think is even of interest, it just underscores that they are grasping at straws. They have nothing. There is nothing. Nice. All right, so now we're going to go back to the Q post, guys. Q says, oh, and right here, actually, we should reference this first, what Q has embedded. This is a screen cap of post 2510 from November 30th, and it says, regarding Mueller, 5x5, do we understand? So this is another post from before. Let's see. So Kevin Kleinsmith, Tashina Gahar, Sally Moyer, how do you ensure those prosecuted non-military would receive an impartial judgment based on the rule of law? Think federal judge rulings, obstruction, POTUS's granted constitutional authority. How do you ensure appeals to the U.S. Supreme Court are evaluated impartially based on the rule of law? Think Justice K, 5-4. So basically this is talking about how we have to get the judiciary loaded up so that we can have impartial trials and deliberations in the court. Military law versus criminal law. Enemy combatant. How do you navigate around installed blockade? Mueller designed to take in evidence needed to expose the deep state. DOJ block regarding Mueller evidence ongoing investigation. Mueller designed to limit POTUS's ability to maneuver. Mueller designed to stall for time until midterm elections to terminate all House, Senate ongoing investigations. Mueller designed to safeguard Democratic Party base. False narrative regarding Russia collusion. POTUS cheated, evil, skyfalling, in effort to divide and mobilize for future protests, riots, threats, violence, FFs. Mueller designed to provide fake news with ammunition to sway public opinion, obstruct foreign and domestic agenda, fuel impeachment, removal, fuel anti-POTUS division, prevent unity, etc. Mueller designed to demonstrate to foreign players that old guard still pulls the strings. Mueller designed to mobilize Democratic Party for midterm vote win. Mueller designed to push Democratic Party backers to donate, GoFundMe, Democratic Party. Mueller designed as public outcry excuse should criminal charges be brought against him. We are being politically attacked because Mueller. How do you remove installed blockade? D-class, D-class, D-class. How do you navigate around installed corrupt FBI, DOJ? Use a stealth bomber. Who must authorize firing of FBI, DOJ officials? Why did McCabe try to take Sessions out? What was the Sessions confirmation vote? 52 to 47. Number 175, logical thinking, clickbait. All right, so now asking if we understand regarding Mueller. Mueller was put there for a reason. What happens when all insiders know the news is fake? What happens when all insiders know Adam Schiff is the leak of false data? What happens when a member of the House Intel Committee purposely leaks fake and false data to friendly news sources in order to maintain and portray a false narrative to the public? How do you... Oh, you guys, somebody told me I need to make the screen bigger. Let me see if I can do this. All right, guys. Is this better for the Q posts? Hopefully. How do you build a case against a member of the House Intel Committee if they themselves have access to the intelligence? What critical mission did Sessions publicly announce regarding leaks? Why did Sessions make this public? Optics are important. Control of the narrative. Truth and transparency is the only way forward. Regarding Mueller, deleted critical text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Reread Mueller Design 2. The Mueller insurance policy has expired. The power has been taken away from Mueller. All right, so now we move on to post 2644, 2 days ahead of schedule. Okay, so Q posted on, this is from January 7th, 2018. U.S. taxpayers are paying for it all. Paris Accord equals scam, trillions. Red Cross, scam, billions. Foreign aid, scam, trillions. War, scam, trillions. On and on. Who audits where the money actually goes? Who actually receives the money? The U.S. taxpayer is funding the very people we are engaged in taking down. Slush funds everywhere. Think GS, George Soros, pays for Antifa out of his own pocket. The hole is deep. Feel sick yet? All right, and now Q links to a tweet from real Donald Trump, which I was actually going to show in another window, so I'm just going to show it now. POTUS says the Democrats want billions of dollars for foreign aid, but they don't want to spend a small fraction of that number on properly securing our border. Figure that one out. So what did the new budget that the Democrats tried to pass have in it? Something like $58 billion in foreign aid. Why are they sending foreign aid in that amount outside of our country? We have so many people here in America who need assistance, okay? Who just need a leg up. All we have to do is uplift people, all right? And then they can go out into the world and make themselves a better life, okay? If we are constantly sending money out of the country and they refuse to build the wall, all we're going to get here is just much, much worse situations, you guys. All right, so what does Q say? Q says that Trump is sending this tweet 2 days ahead of schedule. Next, post 2645. Fake news. Zero coverage of Yellow Vest protests in France. You guys, do you guys realize that the Yellow Vest protests have extended beyond France? If you've seen these Q posts, you know that it's way beyond France. Oh, Warwolf, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate the super chat. But Yellow Vest protests have now begun in Britain, too, in the UK. Here's some interesting things to take a look at. This is from the anti-fascist paramilitary wing of the Communist Party in Germany in 1933. Whoa, look at that. The 2017 paramilitary wing of the Democratic Party of America, Antifa. Isn't that very strange? Look how close they look. Here we go. Here's a picture of anti-fascist action in the Communist Party in 1933. Here they are today in 2019. Here they are today, gathering back then. Now, here they are again. This is the stuff they're putting out. Let's take a look at this tweet from Ruptli. Tear gas rains down. Oh, this is a long thread. Live yellow vest protest hits Paris for the 8th week in a row. Let's listen. All right, guys, that goes on for 124 minutes, so we're not going to go through all of it. But clashes in Paris as Yellow Vest protest continues for the 8th week in a row. Look at this. Stormtroopers beating people who are protesting. Oh, my God, that poor guy. These people. They've probably gotten rid of all the cops in France who were willing to stand with these Yellow Vest protesters, and now all they have left are fascist thugs. Okay, that's it for that one. Lots of good people on this thread. All right, complete blackout by the fake news media. Ask yourself why. Are they afraid of U.S. patriots engaging in the same tactics? Did the liberal left, the old guard, engage and form organizations such as Antifa to combat and silence fascism as any deviation of the controlled narrative? Do the actions of those patriots abroad destroy the fake news narrative regarding majority agree with the policies of the liberal left? We will not go silent into the night. We will not go without a fight. Do you believe this movement and worldwide events are simply a coincidence? Divided, you are weak. Together, you are strong. We the people have the power. Executive order active, where we go one, we go all. Woo! Yes! This is a great post. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Oh my God, I'm going to have to refresh the screen. There's going to be so many. Okay, so Q in post 2645 re-embeds the post, 2646 re-embeds the post that we just went over. And look, he includes any haters in the chat. Look at this. Do you guys remember when Donald Trump was a staunch ally of the African American community when they couldn't get enough of him because he was a decent person? Well, I'll tell you what, he is still a decent person, and the only thing that's changed is the message coming from the left. Here is Donald Trump shaking hands and sitting cozily with Jesse Jackson and the Reverend Al Sharpton. Here he is sitting again with the Reverend Al Sharpton. I'm sorry, not the Reverend Al Sharpton. With Don King and Jesse Jackson. Here he is again. Oh, yeah, with the Godfather of Soul, James Brown. And the Reverend Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Do you notice any similarities? Democrats attempt to turn the public against our police, ICE, and those who continually serve the public interest, protect. Open borders with no immigration and customs officials to safeguard the people. EU governments attempt to turn the police against the people regarding Yellow Vest protests. Police versus people, EU. Democrats attempt to sway public versus police and ISIS, US. A war against globalism. A war to retain sovereignty. Divide those who police and safeguard against the people they are sworn to protect. Chaos. make the people fight themselves versus the original targets, old guard. Fake news, push of racism, fascism, sexism, every other ism, etc., against those seeking to end globalism in favor of nationalism, pride of heritage and culture, preservation of security and safety is designed to keep you submissive. Thank you, Andrew Hedger, for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. Why do Democrats deploy and use racism as their go-to tactic when an argument or narrative cannot factually be substantiated? Patriot Lady Biker! I'm sorry, did I miss you, hon? Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. If I missed anybody, please go ahead and just mention it in the chat, you guys. I'm looking at the thing that I'm writing rather than the chat. When I see a color pop up, I'm trying to go ahead and say it. But thank you, everyone. Patriot Lady Biker, you are one of my OG fans. I appreciate you so much, my friend. POTUS and Black community, pre-candidacy. As I was just saying, POTUS and Black community, post-candidacy. Reconcile. They want you divided. Controlled, submissive sheep. Posse Comitatus Act. Martial law. Okay. Oh, and here's a good one. Okay. Is Q-Tips 45 in there? Q-Tips 45 in the chat. Are you there, my friend? So this is something that I noticed earlier today and I was going to talk about, and Q-Tips was the only person who messaged me about it. Follow the watch, 1 year delta. Okay, so this clock here, the watch, lots of people have been saying 3:15. But I look at it and I see that the minute hand is clearly not directly on the 15. So that means to me that it's 3:14. 3:14, what does that mean? That means 3 plus 14 equals 17. Q. All right? Plus, that would be 15:14. That would be a post by Q. So we'd go ahead and take a look. Will POTUS be at CD? That means Camp David tomorrow. 1 year delta. Matters of national security. The clock is ticking. Follow the watch. Okay? Let's go to this post on 8chan. Don't worry, Brosif. We're getting there, my friend. Okay. Can you see the image in the clock about Jason Sutherland? Hey, it's Q-Tips! You're here, brother. I'm glad you made it, man. Thanks for the super chat. All right. Normally, when we highlight... All right, so here it is. We're going to go to this post right here that Q is replying to. All right, come on, open up, buddy. All right, well, 1 year ago, this was the president's pen. All right, there we go. On January 6, 2018. Look familiar? Note the desk. Where is everyone this weekend? God bless. 1 year ago, 1 year delta, Q and POTUS were at Camp David. All right, now they're going to be back there tomorrow. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close that out. All right, so we're also going to take a look at post 1514, which would be the time on the clock on the watch. All right, so what is this post talking about? First of all, another Anon put Q's tweet in, or post in there. We have it all. The right people have the information. Good people are acting on the information. Think Google. Think Eric Schmidt departure. Think North Korea. Many drafts talking about the Gmail accounts that they had that they were sharing so that they could send messages without having it be monitored, they thought. Many shared users, foreign and domestic. Variable access, codes, fake emails, game forum comms. New intel revealed today. Gmail comms. R equals renegade. EG. Who is EG, guys? Do you guys remember? I can't remember who EG is. Define Evergreen. Evergreen, that is Hillary Clinton. We got R for Renegade, the code name, and EG for Evergreen. Hillary Clinton and Obama. When do you call a plumber? Ongoing investigations require. And then we've got Q. Reread, precursor, they are buying time. National crisis, that's what Trump is going to define tomorrow, I believe, at Camp David. They are buying time, national crisis. Some top eyes on first are calling for immediate arrests. Cooperating, some people are cooperating. Still have access, controlled, kept at top. Chair plus, national security issue, that's the wall. POTUS, reveal Gmail draft comms. Who had access? Legal cases building. You have a choice. Be heard. Patience isn't always easy, but vital to get right. And Q says, news unlocks. I think that's happening right now. We are seeing things happening, and the news is unlocking all of these posts. Okay, next, we've got post 2648. Maggie Haberman of the New York Times is an enemy of the American people. On November 25th, 2018, Q said border security equals national security. Fiscal year 2019 defense spending bill, budget overview, budget reconciliation. What if the House fails prior to majority change? What vested authority does the Constitution grant a sitting president regarding matters of national security? Thank you, Mr. Soros. President Trump is going to declare a national security emergency, and we are going to get that wall built. Maggie Haberman, not a patriot, but we'll go ahead and see what her tweet said. More on what Costa Reports is hearing. Trump has been talking about it for several days, and White House counsel's office has taken a look at what is possible since the shutdown began, and Trump revived talk of this inside the White House. Robert Costa says, Trump confidant tells me he's still talking today about declaring a national emergency if talks collapse. Of course, talks have collapsed because the Dems will not yield, because once they are broken, Brown Eyes rule. Thank you so much. Obama is renegade and Hillary Clinton is evergreen. Thank you so much, Brown Eyes. And he's getting encouraged by several of his friends on hard right to do just that, knowing it'd be challenged immediately. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter if it's challenged. The president is the president. He is going to declare a national emergency, and we're going to get that wall built. All right. Back to the post. Several days. What if this was always the plan? Justice K. Remember that? The conversation between Justice K and Lindsey Graham? Timing is everything. Timing is everything, guys. This is why it could not just happen all at once. People have been screaming for arrests for the last several years, but it had to take place in this way. We have taken back our country, or we are on the brink of taking back our country legally. Why deploy vested powers of the office of the president under verifiable matters of national security when you can instead unveil America's true enemy? Who is America's true enemy? The Democrats. Public awakening. People have awakened. And he links to the Podesta emails. This is a quote from the Podesta emails. We have had a very good relationship with Maggie Haberman of Politico over the last year. We have had her tee up stories for us before and have never been disappointed. While we should have a larger conversation in the near future about a broader strategy for re-engaging the beat press, probably the best press that covers HRC, for this, we think we can achieve our objective and do the most shaping by going to Maggie. Q says, you are not safe. Oh, God. Okay. On to the next post, and then apparently there are many more posts, so we're going to refresh. Okay, guys, do you remember? I have talked about this in my videos multiple times. Clock activated, 3/23/18, red castle, green castle, stage 5x5. Do you understand? The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is in Green Castle, Indiana. Their logo is a red castle. How do you outmaneuver the obstructionists? How do you expose the obstructionists for what they really are? An enemy of the people. They are only now figuring it out. Can you imagine how much these people are freaking out to realize that they are on the brink of being exposed and that so many people already know exactly what type of evil exists in their hearts. Okay, refreshing. We're currently on post 2649. Oh, yes, there we go. Okay, post 2650. Q embeds a tweet from Combat Debater. First 24 hours of Dems in power. Filed articles. Ken Cook, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. Filed articles of impeachment against Trump. Introduced a bill to kill the Electoral College. Passed a bill to fund government without the border wall. Voted unanimously to go home just 4 hours after taking the job. Who's worried for our country? I'm worried about the safety of the Democrats. Democrats' spending bill offers $12 billion more for foreign aid and $0 for the border wall. Look at Nancy Pelosi. Crazy eyes Pelosi. This one was really a step on their own member. Okay. Oh, Guy, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate any support, you guys. This is it means a lot to me. Q says, why do Democrats always force Republicans to include spending bills for approval? Billions of dollars for foreign aid. Who audits where the money actually goes? How do politicians become extremely wealthy while in office on government salaries? How do XYZ orgs, etc., remain funded? Now, someone told me that, or in the chat earlier, that this website has gone down. Let's take a look. Foreignassistance.gov. Thank you, everyone. Looks like we got some trolls in the chat. Take care of them. Everybody tell them what's what. It doesn't matter what they say because we're right. We have been right. How many people out there are just getting red-pilled? Just go ahead and show me your hand on the chat. I want to know how many people have been red-pilled in the last 6 months to a year. Foreignassistance.gov. Let's try it again. Looks like it's down, guys. We crashed the system. Jamie Still, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Ooh, Valiant9, thank you for the super chat. John Pizzagate Pedo Esta must pay. I agree with that. Very, very much. All right. You guys, I bet it was scary at first, wasn't it? My mom, when Trump won, she came to me and she was so upset. She was like, what are we going to do? That man is going to destroy our country. And you know what I did? I slowly red-pilled her. I warmed her up to the idea of who Trump was. You know what the first thing that I showed her that really made her start to think? I showed her the level of arrests between Obama administration, other administrations for human trafficking and pedophiles, and then I showed her the arrests under Donald Trump. I showed her the executive orders that he passed as soon as he came into office. All right, now I want everybody else who's been red-pilled for most of their life, go ahead and say it in the chat. I remember when I think I was 5 years old when I learned about the murder of JFK. And as soon as I understood what had happened, that he was killed by his own government, by people who were supposed to protect him and who were supposed to be standing by him, I knew that those people were not going to relinquish power. And from that moment on, I looked at everything with a critical eye. This, my friends, is the most amazing time to be alive, to see all of you, to see all these people in the world coming around, okay? And for us to be able to talk about it, for us to be able to walk down the street and say to each other that, you know what, we know that's a lie. We know that this is a conspiracy. You know what a conspiracy is? All it takes is 2 or more people getting together and deciding to do something in the shadows and not tell other people about it. That's all it is. All right, conspiracy theory as a term was made up by the CIA to discredit people. Thank you, everybody. Michael, 1776, God bless you as well, sir. Gerald, thank you so much, sir. God bless all of you. I am so excited to be here tonight. Who audits the money? Who audits where the money actually goes? How do politicians become extremely wealthy while in government, office on government salaries? Why do the Democrats only care about control and power? Power of the purse. Power equals protection. The wheel of protection. Welcome to the con. It's going to be very, very hard for people to keep their eyes shut going forward. All right, next we go to post 2651. Why for decades has the UN encouraged donor countries to contribute 0.7% of their gross domestic product on foreign aid? The corruption infiltration at the top worldwide has spread like cancer. Listen again carefully, the Great Awakening. I'm not going to play this video, guys, because I don't want to get shut down, but I will open it and I will show you what it is. Oh my God, yes. No, I am going to play it because this is important, you guys.
Is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people.
This
the
makes me
Washington
cry.
establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it.
Thank you,
exist
Scott.
For only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another four-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim
Thank you, Patty. I love you for being here.
control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents.
Thank you, Mark, for the super chat. Thank you so much.
In which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up.
Yes!
The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, lie, lie.
Thank you, Lady Warrenon. I love you.
And then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever's necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented. And the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when.
Vince Nunya, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you for the super chat.
And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us.
Thank you, Silky. Patriots fight. Thank you, Prepping Sapper.
The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefits of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies.
Thank you, Nanut Lehman, for the super chat.
Deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love.
Thank you, Audrey Jennings, for the super chat. Thank you, Randy Butler, my buddy from Twitter.
Doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Woo! Oh my God, you guys, I get so emotional every time I see this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You know, until I saw that video, I was not certain about President Trump. I didn't know. I was so jaded. I thought there is no chance. There's no chance that we've got any chance in hell to beat these guys. They've taken over everything. They have their tentacles in every layer of society. And I saw that and I said, I know it. I know that President Donald Trump is here and he's going to do what he actually says he's going to do. This is the first time in history we have had a real president, a real representative of the people in the White House. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I thank God every day that I am here and I am aware and I can witness this. I have the ability to witness this because if I was still asleep, I wouldn't be like I am today. I am so grateful. RD, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it, buddy. Woo! Listen again carefully. The Great Awakening. We are here, you guys. We are all here together because Donald Trump has brought us together. The 4D, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. 2.2 million attempted to access within 1 to 2 minutes and the site crashed. There's our answer. There is our answer. Okay, guys, let's do another refresh. Let's see if there's any more Q posts. Send. Nope, that is the last post. That's the last post for now, you guys, all right? But we've still got more news. We've got more news. Now, someone sent this on Twitter. Beneath Raven Rock, secrets inside central Pennsylvania's underground Pentagon. I guess this is near Camp David. Liberty Township, Pennsylvania. Let's watch this. Let's see what it says. We're gonna mute the commercial, guys. Welcome to history. That's right. Oh my God. I'm so excited, you guys. I mean, I've been waiting my entire life for this. I'm so glad we're all here together.
I'm sure most people have no idea what's in the mountain.
Deep in Adams County, near the Maryland border, towers one of the U.S. government's secret military facilities. mountain that Fairfield Mayor Robert Stanley is talking about is Raven Rock, also known as Site R. Inside is a fully staffed bunker, believed by some to have more than 500,000 square feet of space, ready to act as an underground Pentagon in case of an attack on our country.
However, Raven Rock is shrouded in mystery. So few have been inside, and even fewer admit to doing so. Fox 43's Matt Maisel trying to address those rumors and to separate the fact from fiction.
In the heart of Adams County sits the tiny borough of Fairfield.
What we're all about is protecting our citizens.
A place which loves country and community.
Keep the taxes down, and we try to keep the security up.
Robert Stanley has been Fairfield's mayor for 12 years. He loves talking about his quaint home, but when topic turns to the mountain rising over town a few miles down the road,
I'm not going to bite.
Towering over Carroll Valley is the Rock. No, not that rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
Not that one either, although this rock might be harder for Sean Connery to break into. This is the Raven Rock Mountain Complex. And unlike those other two, this rock, known to locals simply as Site R, is shrouded in secrecy.
Everybody knows the mountains there, I'm sure. Most people have no idea what's in the mountain.
Mayor Stanley knows something about Raven Rock. He just won't say.
I had a very high security clearance in the Navy and NASA. And when I retired, that security clearance goes away.
And unless you have that top secret clearance, you'll never know. Barbed wire fences line the perimeter. My photographer Drew and I were standing across the street from Raven Rock's main gates in Liberty Township when 3 Pentagon-labeled SUVs pulled up just to ask what we were doing. We told them, they took down our information, and were on their way.
They certainly aren't going to advertise or take photographs of the facility and schedule of when people go, because it's supposed to be secure.
Even neighbors like Jill Odd, who's lived up the street from Raven Rock's entrance for 56 years, only hear rumors.
I don't know whether it's true or not. There's supposed to be some kind
Thank
of
you,
underground
RD.
thing like from Virginia all the way up where they could drive up if they wanted to.
So to separate fact from fiction when it comes to Raven Rock, we went straight to the source. No, not the president. This guy. Meet Garrett Graff. He literally wrote the book on Raven Rock.
The U.S. government's secret plan to save itself while the rest of us die. That's pretty heavy.
That's fundamentally what all of this is about, is ensuring that there is someone left in what's known as the National Command Authority who's able to launch a nuclear attack.
Continuity of government.
4 years researching Raven Rock and other government bunkers across the country. A former writer at Politico and Washingtonian magazine, Garrett's done his homework.
These are not sort of backyard fallout shelters. These are hollowed out mountains with small cities built inside.
Large enough to fit an entire government after a nuclear disaster. According to a 1999 Freedom of Information Act report, Raven Rock is home to multiple defense operations, Navy, Air Force, intelligence. Standing 6 miles from the Camp David presidential retreat, Raven Rock has 2 reservoirs inside, one for personal use and one industrial. And thanks to $2 million funded annually in the federal budget, it's staffed 24/7 with a dining center, fitness center, snack bar, and fire department among other daily needs. Graff says the government's interest in Raven Rock peaked after the September 11th attacks. Deputy Secretary of Defense Paul Wolfowitz was evacuated here from the Pentagon. Today, Graff says nearly 900,000 square feet of office space can hold more than 3,000 government officials. No families.
There needs to be someone there already.
Yes, I'm vaping.
In the event that something happens here in Washington to the White House.
The history of Raven Rock goes back to the late 1940s. The start of the Cold War had President Harry Truman wanting a bunker in case of a Soviet attack.
The locals who worked on that, and I don't know the years, but I think it was the late 40s, called the facility Harry's Hole.
Go back and look in the Gettysburg newspaper in 1948 as they begin construction. And everyone in town knows, and people are actually holding picnics there to watch the excavation and to feel the dynamite blasts go on.
Today in Adams County, life goes on in the shadow of the rock, mostly unaware to life inside.
Zero. Really, I know there's an antenna on a mountain.
We never know, whether something's happening or what it is.
Inside almost every conspiracy theory in this continuity world.
Thank you, Julie O'Leary.
And so sort of
never tired of winning.
Where that line is between fact and fiction. There's actually a lot more truth to some of these conspiracy theories than you might imagine.
The United States
He said it.
Silent Shield, right here in central Pennsylvania. In Adams County, Matt Maisel, Fox 40.
All right. Never tired of winning. Never tired of winning. Okay, I got a couple more stories for you guys. I didn't want to go longer than an hour, but it's just impossible for me not to. For immediate release from the U.S. Department of Defense, Military Commission's media invitation announced for United States versus Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. The Department of Defense and the Office of Military Commissions will allocate seats for news media aboard military chartered aircraft for travel from Joint Base Andrews to Naval Station Gitmo to cover Military Commission pretrial proceedings scheduled for U.S. versus Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, January 28th to February 1st. Travel is scheduled to originate at Joint Base Andrews Saturday, January 26th, and return from Guantanamo Bay to Andrews Saturday, February 2nd. Due to a limited number of seats aboard the flight and limited accommodations at Gitmo, selection is not guaranteed. However, there is additional opportunity for media members to view the proceedings by closed-circuit television from a media work center at Fort George G. Meade. This is great. This is a release that the military tribunals are actually taking place. Now, I had this tweet thread pulled up from Greg Rubini on Twitter, who said that the military tribunals started on January 2nd, 2019, and that they're being held in secret. Therefore, no fake mainstream media will be allowed in the rooms, but we just had the release from the DoD saying that they actually will be allowed in the rooms. So while they are prosecuting Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, will they actually also be prosecuting some other higher level people in another room? Quite probably some of the military tribunals are held in Gitmo, some in other secret locations. According to Q, both General Mattis and General Kelly are in charge of the proceedings. Remember, Admiral Rogers' departure, Intel, Sessions' departure, Law, Kelly departure, Warfare, Military Intelligence, Mattis departure, Warfare, Military. Notice a pattern. As said above, fake mainstream media will be kept out of it. So don't expect any reporting on the military tribunals coming from the likes of CNN, New York Times, or WAPO. I definitely agree with that. But, you guys, I'm going to turn my level down just a little bit because it looks like I'm blasting your ears out. But probably we patriots will be informed from time to time by other sources with plausible deniability. So we have to keep our ears and eyes ready. We have to always check the validity of the information, use logical thinking, and cross-referencing. The proceedings of the military trials are being filmed by military staff, so we shall be able to see most of them at a later date as chosen by President Trump. Can you guys imagine how awesome that's going to be when they release footage of Hillary Clinton being tried at Guantanamo Bay? Oh my God, that's like my biggest dream. The executive order signed by President Trump concerning military tribunals has gone into effect 2 days ago on January 1st. Here's the official source. Gracie Adams, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I've gone over this executive order before, guys. Basically, it's just a beefing up of the military tribunal law, and it talks about people being able to be put to death for treason. Military tribunals, enemy combatants. On September 5th, 2018, Senator Lindsey Graham and Judge Brett Kavanaugh laid the groundwork for military tribunals and executions. American citizens who collaborate with the enemy are enemy combatants. We all remember this. This was a wonderful line of questioning here.
We were watching as standing with her when the buildings fell.
So when somebody says post 9/11 that we've been at war and it's called the war on terrorism, do you generally agree with that concept?
I do, Senator, because Congress passed the authorization for use of military force, which is still in effect, and that was passed, of course, on September 14th, 2001, 3 days later.
Let's talk about the law in war. Is there a body of law called the law of armed conflict?
There is such a body, Senator.
Is there a body of law that's called basic criminal law?
Yes, Senator.
Are there differences between those two bodies of law?
Yes, Senator.
From an American citizen's point of view, do your constitutional rights follow you? If you're in Paris, does the Fourth Amendment protect you as an American from your own government?
From your own government, yes.
Okay. So, if you're in Afghanistan, do your constitutional rights protect you against your own government?
If you're an American in Afghanistan, you have constitutional rights as against the U.S. government.
Is there a long-standing...
That's wrong settled law.
Isn't there also a long settled law that it goes back to the Eisentrager case? I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Johnson versus Eisentrager.
Right. That American citizens who collaborate with the enemy have considered enemy combatants.
Boom.
They can be. They can be. They're sometimes criminally prosecuted, sometimes treated in the military.
Well, let's talk about can be. I think
under Supreme Court precedent.
Right. There's a Supreme Court decision that...
I just want to go on the record, hardline feminists, and say that we don't hate anyone. We love all Americans.
That American citizens who collaborated with Nazi saboteurs were tried by the military. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think a couple of them were executed.
Yeah.
So if anybody doubts, there's a long-standing history in this country that your constitutional rights follow you wherever you go, but you don't have a constitutional right to turn on your own government, collaborate with the enemy of the nation. You'll be treated differently. What's the name of the case, if you can recall, that reaffirmed the concept that you could hold one of our own as an enemy combatant if they were engaged in terrorist activities in Afghanistan? Are you familiar with that case?
Yeah, Hamdi.
Okay. So the bottom line is, on every American citizen, no, you have constitutional rights, but you do not have a constitutional right to collaborate with the enemy. There's a body of law well developed long before 9/11 that understood the difference between basic criminal law and the law of armed conflict. Do you understand those differences?
I do understand that. They're different bodies of law, of course, Senator.
Okay.
Thank you, Prepping Sapper.
If you're confirmed, and I believe you will be, what is your hope when...
God, were you guys watching this live? How much did you freak out when you heard these guys talking about military tribunals? I dropped to the floor. Oh my God, I was so ecstatic. Graham says, post 9/11, we have been at war, and it's called the war on terrorism. Do you agree with that concept? We are still in a state of war. Kavanaugh says, I do. Congress passed the authorization for use of military force, which is still in effect. You cannot collaborate with the enemy against the United States of America. You are considered an enemy combatant. You will be treated as such. You will be shipped to Gitmo, where you will be put before a military tribunal. Oh my God. This was amazing. McCain. Was McCain the first executed at the military tribunals? Was George Herbert Walker Bush in reality an execution? According to several sources, including Roger Stone, George H.W. Bush was the mastermind behind the assassination of President Ronald Reagan in 1981. I believe that to be true. George H.W. Bush was the vice president at that time. It would have been JFK assassination reloaded. The wannabe killer's family, Hinckley, had close connections with the Bush family. Assassination attempt of a U.S. president is not a lightweight crime. Brown Eyes Rule. Thank you, hon. We love justice. Goodbye, evil ones. Yes. This could have been one of the many death penalty charges against George H.W. Bush, together with his participation in plotting 9/11 and many other capital crimes. Dave Yonda has some good sources and insiders. Now listen to what he says at 30 minutes onwards. This is a long video, guys, so I'm not going to play this. But Dave says, the word I heard is that several months ago, George W. Bush had been in contact with President Trump and essentially flipped. Imagine the consequences of George W. Bush flipping and all the devastating information he may have given to the Trump team concerning several deep state actors, including Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, the Clintons, senators, and congressmen, about Jeb Bush and his own father, George H.W. Bush. That is why George W. Bush had that look of shame on his face at the funeral. You guys remember that? Was the G.W. Bush flipping related to the strange events at the funeral? Read the envelopes. In the video, Dave Yonda talks about the envelopes affair of the G.H.W. Bush funeral on December 5th. Mr. Yonda says that his sources told him the day before, December 4th, to watch the funeral. I've read that some have taken aim at the photo at number 1. That really made me have a good laugh. It's a stock photo for illustration purposes. Do you really think I would be in military rooms with a camera? Of course not. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to move on right here. Nancy Pelosi. This is the Democratic leadership. We're going to listen to this real quick.
Take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. The first part of it is the preamble, so beautiful. We the people. You know what it says.
You know what it says. She doesn't.
Defense, common welfare, the whole. I won't go into it. It's so beautiful.
Because I can't go into it. Because she can't go into it. All right. This is another tweet thread from Greg Rubini, and this has to do with the Bruce Orr hearing. I thought that this was super awesome, so that's why I wanted to cover it. Leaks, apparent leaks from the Bruce Orr testimony. Do you guys remember this back in August? Stunning revelations from someone who was actually in the room during the closed-door session. Bruce Orr would not answer questions because he said it would implicate Obama. They all know but are dancing around that fact. The person who was in the room was posting on 4chan at the time. DOJ Bruce Orr is spilling everything and naming names, dates, places, cutting a deal to save his beautiful wife Nellie. Orr is admitting that they conspired to lie to the FISA judges to spy on candidate Donald Trump and secretly subvert and impeach Trump. This implicates conspirators with collusion with foreign nationals in the UK, Australia, including Russia intel assets tied to the Kremlin government. The upper echelons of the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA were working in tandem at the behest of the Obama administration in effort to tamper and meddle in the 2016 U.S. presidential election in favor of Hillary Clinton. Several U.S. national news organizations are implicated with laundering falsified allegations to bolster credibility for the renewals of the FISA applications. We know this from my reporting just a couple of days ago. Yahoo News reported it first. Christopher Steele passed them the information. One of the members in the hearing, Hot Mike, mumbled, "No one survives from this." Oh my God, that's beautiful. Bruce Orr confirmed that Comey traveled to the UK to meet with GCHQ, MI6, Hochlet, Halper to spy on Donald Trump. Comey traveled to the UK with 2 Obama White House officials. One could be Susan Rice, National Security Advisor. Bruce Orr confirmed that he had several interviews with IG Horowitz and Huber, separate from his wife. DOJ Bruce Orr loathes President Trump. Bruce, our exact words, loathe President Trump. Asked if that motivated his actions. You can say that. Bruce Orr said that the FBI counterintelligence chief Bill Priestap threw Peter Strzok under the bus, working outside of the chain of command with higher-ups in an unnamed third agency, CIA. John Brennan. That's why John Brennan is so rabid on Twitter. He doesn't want any of this to come out because John Brennan's head is on the chopping block. Anand says because it will implicate Obama. Source replies, they all know but are dancing around that. The Republican reps are getting things written on the record, transcripts, official documents that can be used in court to get to that point. Note, the leak was being typed live during the hearing. Diane Davenport. I don't believe it until the funeral, but I'm grateful people like you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate your help. Thank you for the super chat. 17, magic number. We have good reasons to affirm this is authentic. More to come. To be continued. Bruce Orr reveals that the whole thing goes well beyond the Christopher Steele fake dossier and the FISA application. Also, the New York Times and the Washington Post are heavily implicated. We knew that. Bruce Orr was asked if his wife, Nellie Orr, currently works for the U.S. government. Orr answers yes, but at the behest of his attorneys, he is instructed not to mention for which agency Nellie Orr works. We know who that is now. It's the CIA. Sources, seems Bruce Orr is ganging up against James Comey rather than Andrew McCabe. Interesting, he adds. Note, both former FBI Director James Comey and Andrew McCabe have been fired from the FBI and are both under criminal investigation. Bruce Orr names Loretta Lynch. Not clear in reference to which subject. Congress in recess, lunchtime. Sources say that they, the Democrat representatives, are seriously afraid of Bruce Orr and his revelations. Bruce Orr said he has had dinner with Robert Mueller several times. They discussed about President Trump once, briefly. Now the questions go back to the FISA application. Bruce Orr hinted that one of the judges was in on it or had full knowledge. And guys, I want to tell you that everything that I've covered here tonight in the window, is going to be in the pinned comment below this video, which will be live for viewing after this live stream. Damning. I always suspected that. Is the judge in question Rosemary Collier or Rudolph Contreras? Anon comments, that explains the deafening silence from the FISA judges. Source replies, well, they only mentioned one of them and thus far not named, though. Everybody was paid, including his wife, Nellie, Bruce Orr said. Source, Bruce Orr saying that he regrets being led by Steele. Orr got played. Interesting that it was Orr bosses that encouraged the relationship. Note, which means Sally Yates and Loretta Lynch. Orr really screwed up. I guess the wife had the pants in the operation relationship. Sally Yates is named by Bruce Orr. She's royally screwed. Flynn should be happy. The source says that Bruce Orr mentioned 3 times the British spy Stefan Halper. Contract work was his exact wording. Bruce Orr said that the data of the Fusion GPS servers have been handed over to the White House. Boom! Damning, they are screwed. The British spy Stefan Halper is a good friend of former CIA Director John Brennan, by the way, and connected with the UK private intelligence agency Hackliat. Here's a photo of John Brennan and at the Hackliat office. There he is right there, secret Muslim John Brennan. Close-up of John Brennan. There he is. More to come. Now preparing part 2, which will be online in 2 hours. In the meantime, here we go. Part 2, leaks from the Bruce Orr hearing. Oh, we have to go to it. How do we get to it? How do we get to it? All right, guys. I don't know how to get to it. I'd have to go to Greg's. Maybe this is going to take us. Here we go. Part 2. No one survives from this. Okay. Source, the intelligence services of UK and Australia are heavily involved, not officially sanctioned. The intelligence services of UK are GCHQ and MI6 Five Eyes, while the horse's mouth has confirmed on the record. The head of GCHQ resigned immediately after Trump was elected. The BBC told the same lines as CNN and other fake news outlets, which is true. Bruce Orr basically admitted that they intentionally omitted important information in Trump's intentionally omitted important information in Trump's daily briefings. Wow! Lisa Page cut a deal with the investigators. FYI, Peter Strzok obviously did not. Orr thus far is Page 2.0. Someone's phone ringer went off. Therefore, we see that Bruce Orr was 100% cooperative with the rep's questions. And from the above post, we can infer that also Lisa Page was a cooperative witness, as we already know from the Q posts. On the contrary, those who have watched the hearing of creepy Peter Strzok, he did not cooperate at all. Strzok lied all the time. Lisa Page and Bruce Orr contradicted each other on some key aspects. Guess Lisa Page is coming back. Shocking that they allowed Bruce Orr to speak this much. Well, most of his bosses are gone. Bruce Orr's bosses were DOJ Attorney General Loretta Lynch and Sally Yates. Both are fired at the beginning of the Trump administration. Bruce Orr named a lot of people. Orr named James Comey, Sally Yates, Loretta Lynch, Peter Strzok, Andrew McCabe, Bill Priestap, Rod Rosenstein, Christopher Steele, Stefan Halper. Bruce Orr also named Fusion GPS, one FISA judge, UK GCHQ, MI6. Also hinted at John Brennan, the CIA, and named the New York Times and Washington Post. Bruce Orr also talked about interviews he had with IG Michael Horowitz, Utah U.S. Attorney John Huber, and several dinners with Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Excuse me, guys. The end almost. Okay, and that is it. That was great. Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there because I've been on for almost an hour and a half. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me tonight. This has been a great show. I am so proud to have been able to present this. This gentleman's name is @Greg Rubini. Okay? Once I post this video after the live stream is done, all of these links will be in the pinned comment below the video, you guys. I want to ask you for a special favor. If you have not already, please make sure you hit that notification bell. Please, if you have not already, subscribe. If you could, leave a like. If you could, leave a share once this video gets posted. I really, really appreciate it, you guys. I'm going to be here every Saturday night at 9 o'clock. We are going to be counting down the death of the deep state. I appreciate you all. I am so happy that we have been here to experience the Great Awakening. Thank you so much for joining me on Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Saturday Night Live Red Pill News. Bye-bye.